to Elphaba to speak. State coordinators, Bal Vikas, District President Gautam Budhnagar, district coordinators of this district, Brigadier KGS Dhaliwal, President of the Purvanchal Heights Association. A very warm welcome to all of you and thank you for this opportunity for being here today to mark the 91st birth anniversary of Sri Sathya Sai Baba. Let me assure you all singers that I won't take much time. I would very briefly like to share with all of you what is this celebration and what is the endeavor that all of us are engaged in. I'm told that a lot of participants from the residential area where we are conducting this program today, the parents are participating and young children have done a remarkable job in putting the program this evening. Let me thank you all and let me thank the young children who have put this fantastic Nukkad Natak, and before that as I walked in there was a Ganpati Prarthana and dance which was going on. The essence of the work that Sathya Sai Mission does is essentially what you saw in the movie, love all and serve all, which is the core of the message of our loving master. And that is what is the mission of the organization, if you want me to put it very, very succinctly. 2 years ago, on the 2nd of October, our Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi announced a Swachh Bharat campaign. I want to share with all of you here that such campaigns are something which is not new to all of us who are part of the organization, because since the inception of the organization in 1967, the first step that we take wherever we conduct any activity is actually to do the cleaning drive. So when this was announced by the Prime Minister, I think internally we were elated that finally the political leadership of this organization is also saying the same what we have been doing for decades. I just want to share with all of you that as a special gesture this year, from the 2nd of October till yesterday, which was the till the day before yesterday, which was the 20th of October, we ran an 18-day Swachh Bharat campaign titled Swachhta Se Divyata Tak. Now, hold on to your claps. I want to share something more profound in terms of what we have done and what we have been able to accomplish as a national organization in this effort. 8,50,000 volunteers across the entire country have participated in this 18-day program, cleaning ponds, villages, roads, and you know, when you see this is a more sort of very urbane kind of face of the organization. The organization has its roots right at the village level in states like Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, Orissa, you name a state in the country, we have a Samiti down at the village level. So 8.5 lakh volunteers over the last 18 years have collected probably garbage in tonnage which probably cannot be quantified. Run campaigns in schools on cleanliness drives, held painting competitions across the country. As I said, massive effort has been put together at the national level to do an 18-day Swachh Bharat campaign. Why up to the 20th? Because 20th October was the day when Baba declared his avatarhood, and that is why Swachhta Se Divyata Tak on the 20th of October. And the effort is that this kind of programs will continue as part of our nation building work. as part of our own spiritual sadhana. I must share with you something which happened to me 10 days ago. An ambassador of a country an office of an ambassador of a country called me up, and he wanted to have a chat with me. I said, I could come to his residence. Do you want me to come to his embassy? Does he want to come to Sathya Sai International Center on Lodi Road? Please tell me what. I am normally there on Saturdays and Sundays. And he's in a hurry. He wants to meet you immediately. Can you give him an hour tomorrow at your office? So my office is in Saket. So I said, it's in Saket. Would he like to come there? He said, yes, he would like to come there. And I was very, very astounded. The kind of background research that he had done, not only on Baba's teaching, but also on what the organization does nationwide and worldwide. As you all know, that we have a presence in 120 countries across the globe. And so he says, I was so keen to meet you, and I have never been to Puttaparthi, but I want to, and I want your help in terms of how do I translate this desire into the reality over the next few weeks. And he asked me this question. The reason I mentioned this meeting is, he asked me this question. You look like suited, booted, all in a tie, working for a large corporate. What drives you to do this? He asked me a very pointed question, and I think he had very many intelligent questions for me. And one of the questions he asked me is, he looked at me, he says, you look like a big corporate guy. What drives you to do this? I said, it is singular, simple message of Baba which drives me, which is so secular in its approach, which is so loving in its approach, which is so profound, which had a deep effect on me I would say, a decade and a half back. And that is the message of love and service that he has given to all of us. I think that drives me. Every single day, not only the work that I do in my office is not any different from what I do in the organization. So even the work that I do in my office, I also take that as Baba's work, and I do it with same intensity that I do otherwise when I go for the organization work outside. He said a lot of people, he had already, I think he had done a great amount of research. He says a lot of people call him Swami, a lot of people call him Bhagwan, lot of people call him different names, people consider him as God. So what is he for you? I said, if you want me to tell you in one line what he is for me, he is an embodiment of love for me. That's the succinct learning that I have had from my interactions, from what I have seen of him, what I have learned of him, what I have learned from his life, and what I have learned from his messages. So 3 cares, the educare, the social care. So, what we have done through Swachh Bharat campaign is actually the social care element of the organization's, 3 schemes that we have. The educare, the social care, and the Medicare are 3 major elements of Baba's mission and his work. And Medicare means that we have 2 large hospitals across in Puttaparthi and Bangalore, which are free hospitals, and also outside those hospitals, the medical camps which the organization holds across the country is probably another dimension. Most people, they may feel that these are small camps happening, but these are camps happening in lakhs. It's not a small number, lakhs across the country, where you're taking Medicare, providing first care at the doorstep of somebody who's not able to even travel to take any Medicare. Through the hundreds of the science schools and the university, right from primary level to the postgraduate to doctorate level, there is here a model of education which is socio-spiritual in character. While you learn your CBSE curriculum through these temples of learning, you're also at the same time learning basic human values. So what your children have today participated is essentially what we call a study in human learning program, a human values program, which is run from grade 5 till grade 15. Am I correct on that? 5 to 15. And which is in 3 different phases. essentially to introduce our young children to basic human values. You see, today we send our children to best of schools in the city and people across the country. Basically send their children to best of schools, where you're getting this sort of knowledge, which will probably get you some good pay packet. Okay. What today's school education is missing is essentially the learning how to live this life. And I think that is what we are trying to do through the small effort through the Bal Vikas program that we run from age 5 for people from age 5 to 15, to basically introduce them to basic human values, that how do you live this life. And you will see these children who go through this process of age 5 to 15 in the Bal Vikas program, when they grow up, they have a different approach to life. They go out, they rise into a profession, whether a lawyer, doctor, engineer, or a manager in a large multinational, but you will find them that they are different. Why are they different? Because they have had this introduction at a very young age to basic human values, taught in a very, very sweet way by the Bal Vikas Gurus. We have about 26,000 Bal Vikas Gurus across the country who are trained methodically into this kind of learning process. What is the number now? Is it 350,000 students now? More than that. So we have about 3.5 lakh students across the country who go through a Bal Vikas program like one which Gunjan runs in your area. Let me tell you, this is one small example or a capsule for you. There are similar over 350,000 students across the country. And what do? Do it basically, there's no investment. You're only investing your time in sharing these human values. Our Bal Vikas Gurus are only sharing their time and their effort in inculcating these values to these young kids. Because I think it's important today's time, there are a lot of people who are happy to cut a check as a donation. There are very few people today who are willing to give time to a cause or to an effort like this. So I would like all of you to put your hands together for 3 people this evening. Number 1, the Bal Vikas children who have participated. Wait, let me, I am not done. Number 1, the Bal Vikas children who have put this evening together. The parents of the Bal Vikas kids. And number 3, the gurus of the Bal Vikas who have put this effort together to put this show what you saw this evening. So now put your hands together. Our principal Savita Tyagi ji is not here. She is from the Prathamik Vidyalaya Kaimpur, where the Sri Satya Sai Vidya Jyoti project is presently being undertaken. Please convey my warm regards to her and thank her for the opportunity that she has given us to serve in her school in terms of what we are going to do through the Vidya Jyoti program. Please do that. Please, coordinators, please make sure that you go up to her. And one last parting thought. Many years ago, which I often repeat in my speeches and I would like to share with all of you today. Like most NGOs, I used to wonder what is Satya Sai organization, how is it different, what are we doing here is different from what other social service organizations or NGOs are doing. You will find that in most service activities that we undertake, okay, most of it is done with a sense of benevolence. I'm a benevolent, I'm a good human being, I want to do this for Chotu. Okay? And then many years later, when I was reading one of the Satya Sai literature, and it has had a profound effect on my personal life, I would say, which I would like to share with you. I read one line there in which Baba says, the person who serves, and please hear these words very, very carefully. The person who serves is the person served. अगर आप किसी की सेवा करने जाते हैं, आप उसकी सेवा करने नहीं जा रहे हैं, आप अपनी एवोल्यूशन के लिए ये सर्विस कर रहे हैं, इसलिए यू आर द पर्सन हु इज गेटिंग सर्व्ड थ्रू द सर्विस. सो डोंट गो विद अ सेंस ऑफ बेनेवोलेंस आउटसाइड. गो देयर to thank that person, that thank you for this opportunity for me to do this service. So remember, brothers and sisters, when we serve others, it is ultimately we are getting served in the process. I think I will rest my case here. Thank you very much for this evening. My warm wishes to all of you. Diwali is on the anvil. Wish you all a very, very happy Diwali. And as and when you find an opportunity, we keep having some programs at the Satya Sai International Center at Lodi Road. I would leave it to Gunjan and the families. I know Sanjay lives here, a few of you live here. We would be very, very delighted and happy for you to come and join us for some concert, some play. You know, we do these kind of, so annually on the 6th of May, the Bal Vikas children put a play together, you know. And you would have been astounded if you were in part of the 6th May 2016 play. Even the best of artists won't do what these young kids can do on the stage. I can promise you that. And they have raised the bar so high from this year's drama. So 6th May, you can mark it on your calendar. Next year there will be a play by the Bal Vikas kids. And I think I would like parents from whoever are here of Bal Vikas kids to come and see that thing. And see for yourself how these kids, how the gurus put that effort to put a drama on some values. So this year it was on Ramakrishna Paramhansa's life and his message. You know, and sometimes it was on Bulle Shah. You know, it was on some great human sage or being on his life. So my humble request to all of you, and I leave it, the onus is on people who are resident here, who are part of the organization, to invite our brothers and sisters from here to our international center whenever we have a program of that dimension. Thank you very much, and Sai Ram.